Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Weaver. I'm a writing actress and a filmmaker. Today, I am looking forward to break down the most iconic characters, looking at scenes from my short films, and tell you what exactly has been going on behind the scenes when I made them. Let's dive in. Why am I not pretty enough? I just want to be perfect in life. I don't understand why I'm doing this to myself. Why am I not skinny like other girls my age, even older or younger? I just want people to love me or make myself a glow up, even if I'm trying to. Oh my god, that one was very intense as I played. That was the most intense one I actually played. Um, Marine was my sequel. It was the first sequel and the short film that I created my whole life. And before filming my first film, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like I was a bit excited or a little bit petrified when I started making Marine at that time. And it follows about a teenage girl who struggles with self-dysmorphia, body dysmorphia, and lost its identity. And when I wrote that script, and it just gave me the goosebumps here. And in the second sequel, you can see Marine sitting down, using her hands to cover her ears, shouting, "I'm a bloody icon. I am nothing like you. Nothing like you. I'm a bloody icon. Everyone's gonna love me who I am, no matter what I do. I would not accept the life I do not deserve." During that moment, before filming the second sequel, I would force myself to breathe heavily for 3 hours straight without taking any break. Sometimes a little bit of break, nearly 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But it was really strenuous. Like it was such a strenuous thing to do, because I was deeply invested on that role that I played that time. By the time that I've taken the show, by the time I've taken the show, the different cuts from when Marie was brutally having, and it was really exhausting though. But I was very exhausted. I was really tired and all that because playing this type of roles, like it was really demanding and mentally exhausting. But it really gave me such a privilege to finish that kind of role. But it really strengthened me. But I still had the strength to finish that role. So that is what really happened that time. So Marine is a character. It's a kind of character everybody can relate. Marine is for people who are going through difficult times. Like even though they're successful, but they still feel like they're not good enough, or they don't feel good enough at all. And that's how the story resonates to the audiences. Bye. Bye. Yeah, see you tomorrow. So good night. Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh my gosh. She's so lame, guys. She's pretty lame. Why are you staring at me? Just look away. Um, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was the most cringiest role that I played. I am not a comedy person. That's so Mary is a Mean Girl. It's my first cringe comedy short film I created and starred in. Um, I am not a huge fan of comedy. Um, Here's the thing. So My name is Mary from Mary's a Mean Girl. Mary's a kind of character that everybody can relate to it. Even though she's not a nice person, she's not a very polite person, but she's very determined to perform her fake kindness when she's talking on the phone with Sabrina by asking her about the pool hangouts with her sweet persona era. By the time she cuts the call, and by the time she calls the call, and you will see her true colors, and she looks directly to the camera, saying that, "Why are you staring at me? Just look away," and that kind of thing. You know, what's memorable about playing Mary was that when I wrote Mary the time, I've hated that kind of thing, like, because, oh my god, I don't want to make, like, I didn't want to make it too cringe, because when I wrote that cringe comedy, that the comedy short film, I hated myself for it. I hated myself for it. I wrote that when I wrote that thing, like, that, oh my god, that was very, like, oh my god, that was very stupid of me for writing this kind of, like, that, writing that role. It's too cringe. It's pathetic. Like, that is what I really thought at that time. What I do admire about Mary was that she is a kind of person, like, she gives us this she has a sassy, saucy attitude in her own era, but and gives up, and she actually gives up I don't give an F attitudes, and that kind of attitude of hers, this demeanor of hers, really fits her. She believes this is her mind. This is actually her mindset. Um, if you do something that would piss Mary off, and she would not call you publicly. She won't yell at you, but she would directly insult you, roast you. She will make fun of you. She will insult you, whether either publicly or privately. Because be careful how you mess with Mary. She doesn't get easily fooled by people who try to fool her. Something inside me is broken. I don't have a sister. I have no sister. I don't know what to do with it. After all the love I have for her, and it just doesn't end well. God, I'm so lonely. I have no one. I'm completely alone. Oh my god, this role. That role was really intense, very quiet, very raw. Um, that's from the beginning. So, Catherine, the Diary of Catherine, it's a raw, melancholic, quiet story. Follows about a 17-year-old girl who lost her older twin sister, and Catherine Catherine is in lives is trapped with the loss of her sister, and she's trapped in her own mind, thinking about her deceased sister at the time. So, you can see the first scene. What's memorable about the first sequel of The Diary of Catherine, and you will see her grieving her sister so seriously. By the time she looks at the paper, the drawings of she and her sister created at the time, and she whips them so aggressively, very, very aggressively, and and then throws the paper, and gets so devastating when she thinks about her sister constantly. In the second sequel, Catherine finally confesses about her grief on her sister directed to the camera, realizing that she has been a heavy burden to herself, how she feels, how she feels guilty of being lonely when her sister died. And when I wrote the second when I adapted Catherine back to the second sequel, I wanted to let go of Catherine so she can finally have peace with her sister in heaven by the time she passes away. So when she passes away, she's cremated. She's finally reunited with her sister. What's what I admire about playing Catherine is that it's really gave me such a privilege to play her, because I found her very fascinating. And Catherine is for people who feels like they lose something, who were once their shield and everything. So I am mostly grateful for that, because personally to use grief um to adapt a character's story and whatsoever, and I had a lot of time playing Catherine, and she'll be forever missed. And I hope that many fans will be devastated by Catherine's death, and but she'll always be remembered as someone's favorite character. you know I had a lot of fun playing it, so yeah. My name is Vera Kelly. I am 16 years old. I love movies, art, and fashion. I'm an aspiring fashion designer. Oh, Vera Kelly. I love Vera. I love Vera. I admire this character. I love Vera. It's such a very delightful film. Um, when I created when I wrote Vera, I wanted to make it look like an old Hollywood with a modern twist, based on my personal experiences. So if well, Vera Kelly, it's she's very diligent, highly strategic, and she's a very highly strategic. She has a desire to become a fashion designer. She's a fashion designer to be, and we could all see her being lonely, drawing all these different dresses. I know that what really inspired me about writing Vera, it was based on my personal experiences. Starting with my different fashion icons, including um, Vivian Westwood, who whose fashion gives up the Victorian edge, and I loved it. That feisty outfit, I really admired it so much. And secondly, the late great, the one and only Diane Keaton. She was best known for wearing suits. I've always been fond of Diane Keaton when I was about 13 or 14 years old, through her fashion and anything. And I used to think that I want to dress like her. I want to dress like her. And thirdly, so when I was a little girl, I used to play fashion games on my phone. I would pretend like I am this character being on my and be inside the game and being dressed up and me or beat me if I'm playing the game, the fashion game, and me just trying to be a fashion designer, like dressing the character up for one way and this and that. And I always thought that thinking about being a fashion model, like I would be a fashion model where I would just pretend I'm in a one way or photography and all that, because playing this role, playing Vera was such a beautiful thing to do. But what I learned about Vera is that liking because being fashionable shapes your mood, shapes your personality, no matter what people say to you. Um, whenever you have a dream clothing or a current clothing, and it doesn't, all these things doesn't really matter. And fashion helps to keep people alive. It helps people to stay content about who they are. So that is what I learned from this character. But it really gave me such a privilege. So I really enjoy playing Vera.
Isn't that right, Carrie?
Please, please don't do this to me. Oh, the mysterious note from an invisible man. Oh my god. The mysterious note from an invisible man was my first horror short film I created. Um, there was a time that and you can see a scene where Carrie seems very relaxed. When she sits on the bed, she's seen watching a movie, including The Godfather, and by the time she watches the movie, she receives a paper that's been sliding under the desk, and she skitters and checks what something has written. By the time she chats with the invisible man who is seemingly friendly, by the time she finished chatting and she slides back to she slides back to the paper, um slides back to the paper under the door very backwards. By the time that by the time she slides back from by the time that she stops by the time she finished chatting with the invisible man and she slides, and she knew, and she the moment that the invisible man's voices started threatening her, um made her realize she has been tracked and stalked by the whole time. She has been stalked for the whole time, and she was petrified. She was frantic. She was scared, and the moment that she got scared, and she calms herself down and quietly opens the door, but very confidently, but still appeared very timid. By by the time she goes outside and she looks, and then she looks back, and then she finding out whatever who has been sending her the message, the notes message whatsoever. As soon as she turns around and finds out about the invisible man is a serial killer, she gets stabbed and killed by the serial killer who claims to be an invisible man. So I've always been very fond of I've always been a horror movie fan, because when I was a little girl I used to watch scary cartoons and stuff, and I'll I'll pretend to be a vampire or a Frankenstein or any other monster roles that I was wishing to. Because playing a horror character was playing a horror 15 character has always been part of me, always been part of my life. And it was intense. It was intense. It was really raw. And imagine if you're alone, thinking that, oh, you're safe, and but 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 you don't realize that you're always safe. By the moment that you realize that you're actually safe right now, that is when something really happens to you. So I had a lot of fun playing these roles, and it's really, 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 really fun, and I really enjoyed it. Um, um, wow, Everlasting Freedom. It's a silent musical short film. Talks about Vanessa. You can see Vanessa lying down on her bed, reading a novel. As soon as by the time by as soon as she finished reading the novel, she quickly gets up and goes to the balcony and dances freely at the time, and dances to express to express gratitude, how expressing gratitude, how she has been free for her whole life. She's expressing her freedom actually. As she looks, by the time when she looks at the sky, she expresses freedom, like she's actually accepting who she is now, and she's celebrating herself. She's um, dancing at the time. So doing filming. So um I created a freestyle dance where, in order to adapt Vanessa expressing freedom to herself. But what is really fascinating was that, and because that film has a light positive impact, like how it does it feel to be free. Like people have to be free about who they are, and they don't have to um they don't have to stop who they don't have to um limit who they are. They just have to keep on being free, being true to themselves, keep being authentic to themselves. So that is the most memorable lesson about everlasting freedom. Play Vanessa. I'll talk to you later. There's something I need to settle on. Okay, bye, Snon. It's a very it's a very it's a dance short film. Talks about celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I play an Irish character. Her name is RHODA, and who is an Irish Nigerian um an Irish Nigerian teenager who expresses who dances through who represents her culture, her Irish culture, when she's as she celebrates St. Patrick's Day. And because we can see a scene where she actually dances at the time. And what's really funny was that me and Rhoda are quite the opposite in terms of energy, but we share some similarities and all that. I wanted to create When I Go Home. So When I Go Home, it's a song. It's also a song like who was sung by um Shamrock, which is a music I'm really obsessed with. And dancing in the film, it just gave me some goosebump, and I really enjoyed it at the time. And what's memorable, the reason why I created Rhoda, no, the When I Go Home, is to inspire people, to inspire people who love Ireland, um, people people who are born in different countries to Irish parents, people who are fully Irish, even people who like me are deeply hypnotized by the culture and the heritage. So that is why I created it. To you, Megan, it's it's a fast-paced short film. Talks about Megan. Megan, it's a young lady who lives alone. She writes a journal. She goes to sleep. By the time she goes to sleep, the doorbell rings. She wakes up and she goes to the door. She opens a present, and who seems so innocent and pure. By the time she opens a present, and she opens and then she checks what has been inside, and she opens the envelope. By the time she opens the envelope, and she realizes that she has been stalked. You know, she receives a death threat. So but what's really funny because it was never scary. The film it wasn't that scary, but it was almost a bit very scary. And when it comes to a death threat, like you're receiving a death threat one, like it becomes so it can be very scary at times. But it was really scary, not that scary, not that scary. It wasn't really that scary, and it was really fun. Like I had a lot of fun playing it. Like it was captivating. It was very imperative to play the. It's so incredible looking back at all these characters because each character has different story backgrounds. Thank you guys so much for breaking my characters with me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I'm Danielle Weaver. I'll see you in the next project.